Welcome to the deep dive. I'm so thrilled you're here with me today.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, so get comfortable, maybe grab a cup of coffee, because I've got a really fascinating narrative to share with you.
Oh, definitely.
Today, we are exploring a short story. It's titled Seven Cats and the Black Cat, Episode 5. The Black Cat Saves the Seven Cats.
Right.
Now, on the surface, this sounds like a simple fable you might read to a kid before bed.
Exactly. Like dogs go woof, cats get scared.
Yeah, the hero steps in. But I promise you, if we look beneath that surface, this story is actually a masterclass in community dynamics.
And prejudice.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how we react under extreme pressure. So our mission today is to explore how a sudden shift from total peace to absolute peril reveals some incredibly deep truths about bravery and the human, or I guess in this case, feline condition.
It really is a brilliant piece of micro-storytelling. I mean, we're looking at a narrative that manages to pack intense psychological archetypes, in-group and out-group dynamics, and complex social behavior into a very tight space.
It's so dense.
It is. It's a perfect case study for anyone interested in how communities are forged, not during the easy times, but when they are placed under extreme sudden stress.
Absolutely. And to really feel the impact of that stress, we kind of have to start by setting the scene.
Lay the groundwork.
Right. I want you to picture this. It's a warm spring day in a place called the Thousand Garden.
And the imagery here is incredibly vivid.
It really is. You have these beautiful magnolia flowers blooming everywhere. Colorful butterflies are just drifting gently through the air.
Just a perfect day.
The whole garden feels perfectly peaceful, bright, and utterly safe. It's the kind of idyllic afternoon where absolutely nothing could go wrong.
Right.
And our main characters, these seven young cats, are just playing happily, completely carefree. You can almost feel the warmth of the sun on your skin, just imagining it.
What's fascinating here is the author's intentional use of contrast.
Oh, say more about that.
Well, by establishing such a serene, almost utopian baseline, the narrative is lulling you into a profound sense of security.
Yeah, it feels so safe.
Exactly. The Thousand Garden isn't just a physical location in this story. It represents the bubble of safety, innocence, and harmony that many of us live in day to day.
That sanctuary.
It is. And narratively speaking, you build a sanctuary perfectly just so you can shatter it.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because that sanctuary borders something much less predictable.
Right next door.
Exactly. Right next door, there is a neighbor's house. And in that yard live two big dogs.
Which is a classic source of tension.
Yeah. Normally, these dogs stay inside. They are a known entity to the cats, sure, but they are kept completely separate from the peaceful bubble of the garden.
Right.
Until today.
Today is different.
Today, something is different. The dogs are out in the yard. And as they watch these seven small young cats playing, their demeanor shifts entirely.
The tension just spikes.
It does. They lock onto the cats with this intense, predatory, aggressive stare. The peace of that spring day it vanishes in an instant.
It's a classic crucible moment. You drop a violent, entirely unexpected threat right into the middle of a perfect day to test the true nature of the characters.
Because it's easy to be happy when everything is fine.
Exactly. Think about it in our own lives. You don't really know who someone is when they are just playing happily in the sunshine or when everything at the office is going smoothly.
Right, you find out who they are when things go wrong.
You find out exactly who they are when the aggressive eyes of a metaphorical predator lock onto them. The sudden shift from absolute peace to sudden peril forces the masks to drop.
And that escalation happens terrifyingly fast in the text. It goes from a stare to a full-on threat in seconds.
No warning at all.
None. The dogs start barking loudly. Woof, 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 woof. And then, without warning, they are charging toward the small cats, actively moving in to attack.
It's pure chaos.
I want you to put yourself in the paws of those small cats for a second. The physiological reaction described is so visceral, they are deeply surprised.
Of course they are.
Their little hearts start beating incredibly fast. For a moment, they are completely frozen, having no idea what to do.
We are seeing a textbook presentation of the acute stress response here.
Like fight or flight.
Yes, but more specifically, the freeze response. When the brain is confronted with a threat that completely shatters its current reality, like two giant aggressive dogs charging into a peaceful garden, cognitive processing literally stalls out.
Wow.
The amygdala takes over and the sympathetic nervous system floods the body with adrenaline. We always talk about fight or flight, but that freeze response is incredibly common in situations of sudden, overwhelming danger.
So they literally just can't move.
Right. The brain is basically buffering, trying to make sense of an impossible situation.
That makes so much sense. But here is where the story pivots in a way that feels counterintuitive.
How so?
Well, they are terrified, their hearts are pounding, they are frozen.
Mm.
But then they do something unexpected. They do not run away.
Yeah,
Instead, these 7 small cats stand close together, facing the 2 much larger dogs bravely. Now, I have to ask you, is that actually bravery? Or is it just that they are paralyzed by fear and literally too terrified to scatter?
It's easy to dismiss it as mere panic. I mean, that's a fair question. But let's look at the mechanics of self-preservation.
Okay.
If you are a small animal and a massive predator is charging, your deepest evolutionary instinct is to scatter. Climb a tree, hide under a porch, save yourself at the expense of the others.
Every cat for himself.
Exactly. The fact that they don't do that defies individual self-preservation. By standing close together, they are executing a profound psychological shift.
Interesting.
We often talk about herd mentality in a negative light, implying a loss of individual thought. But here, we are seeing the evolutionary power of collective courage.
So they're essentially changing the math of the encounter.
Precisely. By bunching up and facing the threat together, they physically and psychologically change the dynamic of the scene. They stop being 7 isolated, highly vulnerable targets and become a unified, singular front.
That's a really powerful image.
It's a silent communication to the dogs. If you want one of us, you have to go through all of us. We see this in human sociology all the time.
Like where?
Think of peaceful protests or workers organizing. A group of vulnerable individuals finds strength in proximity, creating a barrier that is much harder to break than any single person standing alone.
That proximity is powerful, but let's be real about the physical stakes here.
Right, they are still just small cats.
Exactly. They are vastly outmatched. They are smaller. They are terrified, and the tension is just building. The dogs are getting closer and closer. It is a highly dangerous moment.
Very high stakes.
The cat's unity is brave, sure, but a unified front of small cats probably isn't enough to stop a physical attack from 2 massive dogs. And then, here's where it gets really interesting.
The intervention.
The intervention. Suddenly, from the bushes near the forest, a large black cat appears.
Right on time.
And the narrative pauses the action right here to give us this cat's whole reputation in the neighborhood.
Which is crucial context.
It is. Everyone knows him. He usually looks serious, a little angry, and he always walks alone.
This character introduction is incredibly rich for a short story. We are looking at the classic loner archetype.
Oh, 100%.
In almost every community, whether it's a neighborhood, a school, or a corporate office, there is an outsider. The individual who doesn't quite fit the social norms of the dominant group.
The one who doesn't hang out in the sunny garden.
Exactly. The neighborhood knows him, but they only know his surface. They see a cat who is serious, angry-looking, and solitary. This brings up a fascinating psychological concept known as the horn effect.
The horn effect? How does that play into this?
It's a cognitive bias. Basically, it's where one negative or unapproachable trait causes people to assume other negative traits about a person.
No, I see.
Because this black cat looks serious and keeps to himself, the community likely projects danger onto him. They equate looks scary with is dangerous. He represents the unknown.
Which makes him an easy target for rumors.
Right. And notice his physical location, too. He's not part of their sunny, butterfly-filled garden. He emerges from the shadows of the bushes right near the wildness of the forest. He is the physical embodiment of the outgroup.
He is the absolute opposite of the Thousand Garden. But in this moment of crisis, his wildness is exactly what's needed.
It's the only thing that can save them.
Because he doesn't just wander out. He takes immediate, decisive action. And the way he does it is in total contrast to the dogs.
The dogs were all noise.
Yes. The dogs announce themselves with all this loud barking and chaotic noise. The black cat, he jumps forward without making a single sound, just one terrifying hiss as he leaps straight toward the dogs.
The silence of his approach is a brilliant tactical detail.
Why is that?
Well, the dogs are relying on intimidation. They are using noise, size, and an aggressive charge to overwhelm the senses of the smaller cats. It's classic bully behavior.
All bark and, well, maybe some bite too.
Right. Bullies rely on an asymmetry of power and the vulnerability of their victims. The black cat, on the other hand, relies on pure focused action. He doesn't need to bark. He doesn't need to perform his aggression.
He just acts.
And consider the physical attributes highlighted here. A strong body, sharp claws, fierce eyes. These are the exact traits that made the neighborhood fearful of him. But in this context, those terrifying traits are weaponized for protection.
The reaction of the dogs is priceless.
They don't know what hit them.
They are completely shocked. They clearly never expected a powerful opponent to just materialize out of the bushes and challenge them.
No, bullies never expect resistance.
And the black cat doesn't give them a microsecond to recover. He attacks quickly, swiping his claws, jumping toward them again and again. It's relentless. He completely shatters their momentum.
He essentially flips the psychological script on the predators.
That's a great way to put it.
When a bully is confronted with an overwhelming, unexpected force that doesn't back down, especially one that meets their loud intimidation with silent, focused violence, their confidence immediately crumbles.
The tables turn completely.
Exactly. The dogs become frightened and confused. They lose their psychological upper hand entirely. And what happens? They're forced to turn around and run away back to their house.
Tail between their legs.
Pretty much. The threat is neutralized, not by the unified group, but by a single, powerful outgroup individual acting with absolute conviction.
The chaotic noise of the barking, the hissing, the fighting, it all just evaporates. The garden becomes quiet again. The 7 cats are safe.
You can really feel the relief.
You can almost feel the collective exhale in the story. But what happens next is, to me, even more compelling than the fight itself.
Oh, the aftermath is fascinating.
The black cat has just saved the day. He's the undisputed hero. In a typical Hollywood blockbuster, this is the moment the music swells, the hero strikes a pose, and everyone cheers and thanks him. But that's not what he does.
Not at all. We see the execution of the silent hero trope in its purest form.
Yeah, he just stands there.
He stands silently for a moment. He doesn't gloat. He doesn't look over at the small cats to demand gratitude, praise, or validation. He simply turns around slowly, walks back toward the forest, and disappears among the trees without saying a single word.
It's incredible how he asks for absolutely nothing in return.
It's true altruism.
It really makes you think about modern culture, where so much heroism or charity is performative. People want the credit. He saw a critical need, he stepped in at great personal risk, and then he just left.
But his actions leave a massive impact.
They really do. Those 7 young cats are left standing there looking at each other in total surprise. And this is where the narrative shifts from a physical rescue to a profound emotional, a mental shift for the characters.
The physical danger has passed, but the cognitive dissonance is just beginning for those 7 cats.
Cognitive dissonance.
Yeah. They now have to reconcile 2 conflicting realities. What they thought they knew about the black cat based on neighborhood gossip, and what they just experienced firsthand.
Which are 2 totally different things.
Completely different.
We see this exact reconciliation play out in the dialogue. A small striped cat speaks up softly and says, "I thought the black cat was scary, but he helped us."
And the response is key.
Right. Another cat nods and agrees, saying, "Yes, he looks fierce, but he is still a cat like us."
If we connect this to the bigger picture, this is the entire thematic core of the narrative. It is a brilliant, concise deconstruction of prejudice.
It really strips it all away.
It does. These young cats had bought into the Horn effect we discussed earlier. They judged him entirely on his exterior, his serious face, his solitary nature. What this shared trauma forced them to realize is that a scary exterior has absolutely no correlation with the content of one's character.
It's the ultimate realization that you cannot judge a book by its cover.
Exactly.
The narrative explicitly points this out for us. It notes that looking scary on the outside doesn't mean you don't have a brave and kind heart on the inside.
A kind heart.
I love that phrasing, a kind heart. It seems like a funny way to describe a cat with sharp claws who just beat up 2 big dogs.
It's a different kind of kindness.
Right. His kindness wasn't shown through soft words or playing in the garden. It was demonstrated through his willingness to risk his own safety for others who couldn't defend themselves.
And notice the shift in how the 7 cats view him as he walks away.
How so?
Initially, they view him with suspicion, maybe even fear. But as he disappears into the trees, they look toward the forest with respect.
That's a huge shift.
It is. Respect is earned. It replaces fear only when understanding bridges the gap between the known and the unknown. They recognize that despite their vastly different appearances and lifestyles, them playing in the sunny, manicured garden, him walking alone near the dark, wild forest, they share a fundamental connection that overrides those differences.
So what does this all mean? It all builds to this overarching takeaway that the story leaves us with.
The shared identity.
Yes. The realization that an underlying shared identity triumphs over all these superficial neighborhood divisions. The narrative concludes with this incredibly powerful, simple statement: cats help other cats.
It's a statement of radical solidarity.
Radical solidarity, I like that.
Notice what it doesn't say. It doesn't say friendly cats help friendly cats or garden cats help garden cats.
It doesn't divide them into subgroups.
Exactly. It strips away all the societal qualifiers and all the subgroups. It asserts that when the chips are down, the shared identity of their broader community supersedes everything else. The black cat didn't stop to care that they were young or small or that they probably gossiped about him looking angry.
Yeah.
He saw his own kind in danger and he acted.
Which brings me to you, listening to this right now. I want you to think about how this exact dynamic applies to your own life.
That's a very relevant question.
Think about your workplace, your neighborhood, your extended family. We all belong to communities, and almost every single one of those communities has a black cat.
Someone on the outside.
Right. Who is that person in your life? Maybe it's a colleague who seems completely unapproachable, always serious, keeps to themselves, and eats lunch alone.
The person everyone whispers about.
Yeah. It's so easy to build a narrative in our heads about who they are, based entirely on that solitary exterior. We project a personality onto them without ever speaking to them. But this story challenges you to ask, what might that person be capable of when it truly matters? Who might step up and show incredible bravery and kindness if a crisis actually hit?
This raises an important question, and it's something I really want to leave you with today as we wrap up our analysis.
What's that?
We've talked a lot about the black cat's fierce exterior and how the neighborhood judged him prematurely. But let's look at the causality of that dynamic.
Good.
What if the black cat's solitary, angry demeanor wasn't actually his natural personality from birth?
Wait, what do you mean? Like he wasn't always a loner?
Consider the alternative. What if his fierce exterior was a defensive wall he built over time?
Oh, wow.
Think about human sociology. If everyone in your neighborhood prematurely judged you, if they always avoided you, whispered about you being scary, and never invited you into the Thousand Garden before ever giving your kind heart a chance to show, wouldn't you eventually become solitary?
You'd have to protect yourself.
Exactly. Wouldn't you start to look a little angry too? Perhaps his isolation wasn't a proactive choice, but a consequence of a community that was too quick to judge.
That completely changes how you look at him.
It does, and if that's true, it makes his decision to leap out of those bushes and save them not just physically brave, but incredibly, profoundly forgiving.
That is a brilliant perspective. The idea that he risked his life to save the very community that might have ostracized him in the first place.
It adds a whole new layer of heroism.
That is a truly provocative thought, and a perfect place to leave our discussion for today. You've got a lot to chew on with that one. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into 7 Cats and the Black Cat.
It was a pleasure.
I love taking these journeys with you, pulling apart these seemingly simple stories to find the hidden gems of wisdom inside. Until next time, keep looking beyond the surface and take care of each other out there. Bye for now.